Hello my pretties, Gormac back here again from the Gore chair. We're going to do another Master of Lists. This week it is my favorite band, and it is Megadeth. If you don't like Megadeth, well, fuck you, I don't care. This is my list, this is my channel. If you don't like it, go watch some idiot talk about monkeys. I don't know, I don't care. Plain and simple, this is my favorite band. This band has gotten me through so many bad things in my life, and they've been there for so many good things too.
Double Daves.
The Double Daves, Elfson and the great Dave Mustaine, in my humble opinion. Dave Mustaine is in my eyes one of the best metal rhythm guitarists ever. I love his vocal style. That snarl is just incredible. So what we're going to do is, it's only the studio albums I'm doing. The Hidden Treasures compilation is not involved in this, but I will give you a little bit of what I think about Hidden Treasures before we even start. I love this, I'm going to call it an EP because it really is kind of short. It's got one of my favorite Megadeth songs, 99 Ways to Die, on it. This does get played a fair bit. If I were to put this in the rankings, it'd be near the top because I love it. It's got their cover, No More Mr. Nice Guy. It's got their Paranoid cover. So this is pretty cool, but it's not on the list. So that is just kind of here for whatever.
For fun.
Live albums are not included as well. Greatest hits, all that crap. So I'm going to tell you the album, tell you why I dislike it or like it, and maybe a track or two that I enjoy. So first, well, we're going to go from worst to best. That's the easiest way to do this. So in the very last place is their album Super Collider.
I thought you put Risk as the
Super Collider, there is really only one song off of here, maybe two that I like. Kingmaker is a decent track, and The Blackest Crow. This album really missed for me. When I like the Vic on the back. He looks pretty cool, but this album is a miss. So in last place, Super Collider. The next one is the album 13. There really isn't a lot on this album I like. I almost never come back to this album. Public Enemy #1 is really the only good song I like on this. This seemed like a miss for me for Megadeth. They didn't seem to have it together, and I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, this was the last release with the Quitters, who went on to make Act of Defiance, which is just a horrifically shit band.
Act of Butt Cheese.
But 13 is the second lowest on my list for albums for Megadeth. Again, only one song that I really like.
I thought they were so cool with that band name.
Oh, the Act of Defiance? That'll be another video.
No.
Next is one that is usually at the very bottom for every Megadeth fan, and that's Risk. There are a couple of songs on here I actually really dig. I like Breadline. I like the hook in Breadline. I think it's catchy. Dave was trying to go for more radio-friendly stuff. Insomnia is a pretty good song. It's not a great record, but there were songs on here that I enjoyed, and it's a departure, and it actually gets more plays than the last two albums for me. So the next one, and you're probably noticing something here. A lot of these near the bottom are their most recent releases. It's been a while since Megadeth has done an album that I've loved, and that's coming up. The next one is Endgame. I found this to be disjointed. I honestly can't even name a track I really, really like off of this. There's some riffs on here that were pretty good, but it's not an album I ever really go back to. It's unfortunate when it's your favorite band and they have a misfire. The next album is The World Needs a Hero. Now, this has some decent tracks on it. But I don't know. It seems disjointed, this record. You know, the song "World Needs a Hero" is pretty good. "Motorcycle" is a pretty cool song. But again, there's not like there seems to be more filler. And the second half of Megadeth's career, it seems as though you're getting 3 or 4 really, really good songs and a lot of filler. And the earlier albums, in my mind, didn't have that. So, at
well, there's also like the whole thing about, because I read it in the, I don't remember what it's called, the Bang Your Head book, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it said everything about the Metallica thing going down. And then Dave was like, I'm going to make a band that kicks Metallica's ass. And then he like had all that to prove.
Well, the Metallica, we did Metallica, I believe, on Master of Lists, did we not, last week?
That was like the first one.
No, Slipknot was the first one.
No, second one. I mean.
This one here, this album's not bad, but it ain't great. So that is The World Needs a Hero. The next one is The System Has Failed. Okay, The System Has Failed, first off, has one of my favorite Megadeth album covers. I would love to find this album on vinyl just to have this album cover, because it's sick. And it has some decent songs on here, man. It's got like Kick the Chair, Blackmail the Universe, one of my favorite songs, The Scorpion. And The Scorpion live is sick. Like, it was sick when I saw them play The Scorpion live. This is a good album. It's not a great album. The great ones are coming, and believe me, when they do, I will be gushing about them because it's my band. So if you don't like it, go watch something else.
The vinyl on Discogs is $58.
Well, there you go.
And then Amazon.
I will never own it.
Wait, I'm just trying to.
The next one,
Dad,
is.
You're being annoying.
My
gosh.
An interesting one.
Dad, guess how much it is on CD?
I don't know.
$190.
On CD?
Yeah.
I own it on CD.
I know, but I tried to find the vinyl, but that's the only thing that came up on Amazon.
Anyway, next album in the discography, in my rankings, is Cryptic Writings.
Oh.
A lot of people love this album. For me, as you see, it's middle ground for me for Megadeth. Almost Honest and Trust. Like, Trust is probably one of their bigger radio hits. She-Wolf is a pretty cool song. I like Secret Place. There's a riff in Secret Place that I really dig. This was where they kind of turned from the. Well, this is what led to Risk, basically. They started to try to write a little more melodic, I guess, even though Euthanasia and the other albums were melodic already. But this, I enjoy this album, but it ain't the first one I go to. So the next is a classic. This is So Far, So Good, So What? This album is raw as hell. And this is at the height of their heroin addiction, so some of this is just a mess, and that's, I think, what makes it so good. It has my all-time favorite Megadeth song, other than Peace Sells.
Wow, spoiler.
In My Darkest Hour. I love that song. That song means so much to me, and this is a great album. It's got Mary Jane on it, so, like, come on. So that's So Far, So Good, So What? I love this album. I love the artwork for it. It's just, this is an angry, angry album. And the next one, this is their most recent album, Dystopia. I really enjoyed this album. My daughter has the vinyl copy of this, and I have the CD. I really enjoyed the majority of these songs. There's a couple songs I don't like. Basically, the last 3 songs on the record I can probably do without, but the rest of the album's very good. That song, Post-American World, is actually really badass. The song Dystopia is great. The artwork is sick. I love the artwork on this album. And this one does get played a fair bit. Not just because it's their newest release, but because I actually really enjoy it. And
new album next year.
And a new album in 2019. So I'm looking forward to that because Megadeth is awesome. Next. This is the reissue of their debut, Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good. This is the final kill.
Dad, I did I don't know what it was, like an essay on it in French in grade 9.
This album is what started everything. This is an angry, angry, angry album, and it shows on pretty much every track.
Oh, happy birthday, James Hetfield.
Yeah, James, happy birthday. We're doing Megadeth on your birthday. Fucker.
Wow, rude.
I can't pick a favorite song on this album because when I listen to Killing Is My Business, I listen to it from beginning to end. And to me, it's so angry that it almost feels like one long F-U to Metallica, which it really kind of is. This was the genesis of the band. This is Dave at his snarling angriest, and I love when he gets that snarl because it's kind of an FU to whoever's pissed him off. Buy the reissue of this because it's really cool. There's some good stuff on it.
This is a horrible picture.
This is
Euthanasia?
Euthanasia with their very disturbing hanging babies cover. But this has another one of my favorite Megadeth song, Train of Consequences. I love that song. There's a lot of good songs on this record. The Ballad of Tout le Monde, which is fantastic. I love both the original, where just Dave sings, and I also really, really love the version that they did with Christina from Lacuna Coil. It's beautiful to have her voice in that song. But to this has so many good songs. Reckoning Day, Train of Consequences, Addicted to Chaos, A Tout le Monde, Elysian Fields, The Killing Road. I could name this entire freaking album. This is an awesome album, and that's why it's in my top 5, I believe. Next. Countdown to Extinction.
I love that album.
My daughter, I'm pretty sure this is my daughter's second favorite Megadeth album after Rust in Peace.
I'm surprised you remembered the first.
This has a ton of great tunes on it.
Literally
okay?
every song.
For Closure of a Dream is still to this day, I think, one of Megadeth's best songs. I can't say enough good about this record. This is the height of their popularity. This is, like, I remember when this came out, I went and bought it on cassette because there were still cassettes at that time. I wore that cassette out. My buddy Tony and we wore that cassette out in probably a month. I had to go buy another copy, so I ended up buying it on CD. Just a great album, just phenomenal. If you don't own this, stop the video, go to a record store and buy it now. Next. This one is probably going to shock a few people. because this is in the newer time. This is United Abominations.
I'm shook.
I love this album. There are so many songs that I love on here. This has the duet with Christina for a Toute La Mode. There really isn't a song on here I don't like. Every single song on this album I like. I never skip a track on this record. It is phenomenal to me.
Because you're not taking care of that.
I just love it. Like, Sleepwalker was awesome. Washington is next. Now my daughter's handed me a stuffed Stitch, so here you go. For the last couple Megadeth albums, Stitch is going to hold the album up for you. Look at that. What do you think of that, guys?
Metal Stitch.
Metal Stitch. There you go. So, some people will argue with me about this one. I love the artwork for this. I would love to get a print of that made and frame it. No, I want a big painting of this. This is beautiful. This is incredible, and I love this record. It's freaking amazing. Okay, next. Next is usually everyone's number one. And Stitch will show you what it is. This, I know this is really stupid, isn't it?
Shut up.
Rust in Peace.
That was not even close to a riff on that album.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this album, because if you don't know Rust in Peace, you shouldn't be watching this channel. Okay?
Roasted.
This is a great record. That's it. Now, my favorite Megadeth album of all time, Peace Sells, but Who's Buying?
Your finger was on Vic's head.
There. Peace Sells, but Who's Buying? I will fight you on this. This to me is one of the greatest metal albums ever recorded. I don't care what you say. You can have your Rain and Blood. You can have your Master of Puppets. You can have whatever. The Legacy by Testament. Among the Living by Anthrax. For me, this is the one. Everybody has their own favorite band and favorite album. For me, I'm lucky. One of my all-time favorite albums is by one of my all-time favorite bands. So this is a good thing. I like every single song. There's 8 songs on here. I love everything about this album. It's angry, it's fast, it's melodic. It has a little bit of everything. And it just, I don't know, honestly, it's in my eyes, it's perfect. In my eyes. In yours, it may not be. That's okay. That's why we're doing these lists, right, guys? Because we all have our opinions. So, this is my number one. This is Megadeth, Peace Sells, but Who's Buying? With just some incredible songs.
Put Stitch back.
Some incredible playing, and a really pissed off Dave Mustaine. So, that is my listing of the Megadeth album. So this is Master of Lists for August 3rd, 2018. The next band we are doing is another one of my favorites. That is Five Finger Death Punch. If you don't like Five Finger Death Punch, don't watch the video.
We'll do Slayer soon.
Slayer will be coming, and Dream Theater is going to be done as well. Savatage.
Dad, don't give them all away.
And a whole bunch more we're going to do. But the next one is Five Finger Death Punch. And then we're going to, then I might put a poll up to see who you guys want. And I'll put maybe 5 or 6 bands up, and then you guys can choose one. But for now, we're going to do Five Finger Death Punch next. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As I say at the end of all my videos, be good to each other, keep your stick on the ice, Gormac out.